Right.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, we'll go ahead and call the June 1st redistricting meeting to order. Pursuant to Illinois Attorney General's guidance to public bodies on the Open Meetings Act during the COVID-19 pandemic dated July 2nd, 2020, county board members may participate without being physically present and compliant with the established provisions. Is there a motion to allow county board members to participate remotely?
Second.
Member Chaplin, seconded by Member Rutledge. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Okay, we roll call, please.
Member Chaplin.
Here.
Member Chavez.
Here.
Member Krajewski.
Here.
Member Ozog.
Here.
Member Pachowski. Member Rutledge.
Here.
Member Zay.
Here. Okay, thank you. Move on. Do we have any public comment?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Move on. Chairman's remark. We were talking about Springfield. Obviously, good news. We're waiting for that. So, Jason, you want to give a little update on where we stand right now?
Yeah. So Senate Bill 825 is what went through yesterday. It switches petitions for nomination for the general primary election may begin to circulate as of January 13th of 2022 and sets forth signature requirements. The petition filing period is between March 7th and March 14th of next year. Then we got this bill also. So also, I just want to let you know, I'm truncating this just to redistricting stuff. It's an omnibus bill of all election stuff. There's a lot more in it. Just truncating it to our discussion today. It defines population for the reapportionment of 2021. Population means the number of inhabitants as determined by the county board by any reasonable method, including but not limited to the most recent American Community Survey 5-year data. For reapportionment of 21, the county board shall reapportion by December 31st of 2021. And then it also permits the chairman or county board executive, or I'm sorry, the county board or county executive to develop and present to the board by the third Wednesday in November in the year after federal distance census. I'm good. So it all it does is it moves pretty much exactly what our requirements are, puts it December 31st, changes the primary dates to I'm sorry, it's June. Where did I have that note?
June 28th.
June 28th. Thank you. So that's what it does. It's everything that we're allowed to do now. It just changes the timeline. Now, granted, obviously this hasn't been signed yet, but my assumption is it will be signed. So that is currently where we stand with what happened in the General Assembly last night for these things.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for Jason? No? Okay. We thought we didn't change the dates here on the contract just because it hasn't been signed yet. We can always amend it when we talk to the consultant and move those dates back, obviously. Okay. Is there approval of the minutes for May 18th and May 26th?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, there a motion on RDCP 29121 Grapple LLC, amount of $30,000 for redistricting process. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Move on to discussion. Any items to discuss?
I just had one for timelines. I thought it might be wise if we start to kind of chat about what we want it to look like. So I wanted to propose like June, July, we obviously will have Grapple put to work and getting some of the preliminary mapping done. And then I think by mid-August, it's my understanding we might have some preliminary census data. So I thought we could start to review. It sounds like September for final census data, perhaps. And then October, maybe we get the finalization of a lawyer review. And I do know we have to have some public hearings, and I wasn't sure on the stipulations on that, but I was thinking November, so we didn't run into Christmas. And then hopefully we don't have much to do in December. So do we know what we have to do for public hearings? Do we have any kind of readout on that?
I have what I think, but I'll defer to Assistant State's Attorney McCarthy.
I don't know what the new bill may impose. My recollection is that the only time a public hearing is required is when it's required by the Open Meetings Act, or if there's the chairman proposes a set of maps.
So we don't have to have any.
We don't.
Okay.
We probably should have.
I think
probably
we
do
should.
I should
something.
have one. At least we'll put the map up online, and kind of like transportation does, where we can have each district and a map, and people can come from a certain time to a certain time and view it and give public comment.
I have a question about chairman presenting a map. I saw something, I skimmed it this morning. And I believe it was the third Wednesday in May, and that having passed, what is the new date? That was to be a scenario.
November.
Third Wednesday in November.
Third Wednesday in November. Okay.
And for a timeline, I agree with you. I just want to talk to our consultant, see what
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 they
she
think,
thinks,
yeah.
yeah. And hopefully, you know, I think we should start the process at least with the ACS numbers. And then when we get the census numbers, they can merge those together and at least gives us a good groundwork to moving forward. I just don't want to sit here and wait for the census data
No, I
and
don't.
Right.
do whatever.
I think we're in
I
agreement.
mean,
on
as
that.
we saw when they kind of did the census data with our GIS staff, it doesn't seem like a lot, but
Right.
again, you know, Sheila and I were talking yesterday, people don't realize, well, we got to do this. I mean, when you do mapping, when you say, oh, well, I need to take this, but the other district might not want that go. When you do the numbers, you see the total changing on the bottom. It does take a process. If you're taking out one district, giving to another, it kind of, you know, flows, you know. it takes-
Everybody's got an opinion about that. Huh?
Exactly.
Art
exactly.
versus science, perhaps?
Yeah, probably.
Well, you got to come to an agreement. That's what it comes down to.
Thursday, thank you. You actually brought up a good point. I had a couple of questions from a few board members about Tom Rickard's data. I wanted to real quick just clarify one thing to make it a little bit easier. So all he did was took the ACS numbers, divided it amongst, or, you know, looked at what the populations were within that. So that's where we stood today.
Yeah, very preliminary. It
Yeah,
wasn't
very
that-
preliminary, but that's all it was. It wasn't, he didn't change anything. That's just as it is and it stands today. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Either way.
Sorry. How confident are we that we will be getting official census data by the end of September?
Oh,
Oh, boy.
Oh,
It's confident of me not having a beer this week. I don't know. Not very good. I don't know. You know,
anyone
keep
heard
saying-
anything?
well, they keep saying August. I mean, there's different dates going around. So I mean, we're kind of
Alright.
I can make
hijacked here.
one clarification to that. So the August data is considered the legacy data. So in the GIS world, it's put in all these different tables and such. The stuff that's in September is the nice clean version that everybody can easily do. The legacy data doesn't have all of that information. We, however, have the resources and the ability to create those tables and build it out. So
You got to overlay it on the map. You
correct.
gotta do
So
all
that would be August, I think that was supposed to be by August 31st. Obviously, it's the federal government that's a moving target sometimes. But that would be the anticipation. So that's the legacy data that we would be able to use. And then August is when that traditional PL 94, like the full table set. But we'd be able to use that legacy data. And it's the exact same data. It just doesn't have that extra tables created already for easier manipulation and access.
Thank you.
And once we get, I'm thinking this month we have Grapple come in and talk to us about what their plans are and how they go about doing this to give us a, you know,
Yeah.
this is what they want to do. This is how she's done it in the past. This is, you know, how we're going to move forward. Sound good? Okay.
That was my recommendation, was to have them come in and give a presentation so that we understand what their process is, and that'll help us break down our.
Yeah, I hate to put anything
Timeline.
together and do it and they come in and go, yeah, we just don't do it that way. Here's a better way to do it.
Right,
So,
I agree.
okay. Any other discussion? Any old business? Any new business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.